You are now live with Layer 8 Culture, Tech Thursday.
But we are back. And well, it's back. Claude Opus 5. And we're gonna get into it. So Anthropic dropped Claude Opus 5. And I gotta go on my soapbox for a little bit, y'all. I've been struggling with 5.6, so I've been having like, these weird errors, especially when it comes to using like images, especially when using GitHub Copilot in 5.6. So I'm having these crazy errors constantly, where I'm getting, I don't know if I can even pull it up. It basically says that the files are too big for me to use. So like a lot of times I use a lot of image files, and that normally triggers some type of error where it's like, hey, the file is too big, so 5 megabytes. And I've never had this issue before. And I was trying to find workarounds, trying to find ways around it, and just got so frustrated. And so then when Opus 5 dropped, it was like a negative time. I was in the middle of projects I was working on, and it was a huge lifesaver just to be able to switch over to that model and continue on. That goes into the whole discussion about making sure you have multiple models, right? Like not just relying on one model, being able to switch in and out of different models. So I switched, same project, switched over to Claude Opus, was able to finish the project. No issues. It's been much better. We'll get into that. We'll also get into a little bit of comparisons. Basically. Of course, the new models drop, you got to compare against Claude Opus 5, GPT 5.6, Fable 5. Like, it's not thinking about Fable, it's dumb expensive. But we can compare that. And then we might get into a little bit about AI harnesses. Let's talk about that. Let's get into. I think that's really it. Let's get into it. All right, so let me show on screen. You know how we do we build in public, build live. Here we go. So Claude Opus 5 dropped July 24th. It's been what, 2 weeks? And I've been using it, of course. So let's get right into it. So Claude Opus 5 is available. It's a thoughtful and proactive model that comes close to the frontier intelligence of Claude Fable 5. Important, right? Okay. Encoding and knowledge work, evaluations like frontier bench, GDP val AA, terminal bench, fits, benchmarks, say it's outperforming GPT 5.6 Soul, codings. I think the cost is a little higher. And this is Fable 5 here. Okay. So the cost is still higher than GPT Soul. Look at it. All right, let's go back here. What's up in the chat, y'all? Tell me where y'all from. Y'all tuning in from. So, agentic terminal coding, they're 43.3%. I thought the numbers were higher. I guess not. Is this percentage of failure? That's success. I don't think I looked at this before. That might be it. Knowledge work, problem solving, agentic search, 90%. But then you see how they put GPT 5.6 to the end, so it's hard to compare. Because this is basically a equivalent to compared to GPT 5.6. So use. This is I don't know. I don't like these percentages because I've seen better ratings on computer use and browser use from GPT 5.6, but it's saying that Opus 5 is better. I do agree with that actually, because I've been using Opus 5 for work and little projects I've been doing, and it is more thorough. It's coding business workflows. Well, and of course, this is Anthropic's website, so I think they're biased. Yes. So automation branch, which measures whether models can complete business tasks from start to finish. Opus 5 pass rate is around 1.5x the next best model for the same cost per task, even as at its lowest effort settings. That's it. It's a big one. So the automation bench. Oh wow. Look at that pass rate compared to Fable 5. That's interesting. Five's meaningful improvement over 4.8 for scientific research. Shows high performance. It shows better performance than Opus 4.8 on every one of our life science evaluations. Checks out that build a working wind tunnel. It's pretty cool. There's actually the app, 3D, the rotate. It's dope. That's dope. Cell artifact. It's 3D as well. Oh, it's cool. See, it's interesting, like you see things like this where it's like who would have thought of this? Oh, I need to build this 3D interactive thing. Like you only really get to use this stuff and understand it if you not let me rephrase that. You only understand the limitations if you actually use it day to day. It's so important to not just to even have like a fixed result that you want, but just really play around with it to really understand what you want to do with the technology. So guys, you guys are really loud. I'm recording. Not advanced. Very interesting. Use capabilities. Okay, so it's basically saying like it's a safe version of the Mythos 5. We'll take that. Yeah, safeguards. I mean, that's the big thing around these models is cybersecurity capabilities. Because that is where you really have to go through a lot of data very fast. So that is, I think it's becoming more and more of a demand from the market. It's really measure how good these models are. So that's from Anthropic. I also have here queued up comparison from a third-party source data camp. They did a breakdown between Opus 5 and GPT 5.6. So there we go. I mean, the main takeaway here is that is the cost, right? So as you can see here, it's saying GPT 5.6 is the stronger terminal and browser generalist. Opus 5 is a novel reasoning agentic specialist. And I'm a little biased because, like I said, GPT 5.6 gets errors. So I haven't been using it. I've used GPT 5.6, of course, when I'm using Chat GPT. I have been using Chat GPT work. I'm using that with 5.6, of course. But other than that, I'm using Opus 5. So I've been using GPT work, the desktop version, a lot. Of course, I still use the chat version, but the desktop version. So let's get into this review real quick. So, what's the main thing here is the cost. Significantly cheaper than Fable 5, but very comparable. So the cost per million tokens input is the same. Output actually is a little bit less. Those million tokens. And just because, like, I do want to reiterate, like, just because a model is out doesn't mean we have to use it, right? A lot of times you might use the latest model. Let's say you're using GPT 5. Let's say you're using GPT 5.6, and then a new GPT comes out. You don't necessarily have to for the program. If you're doesn't work, so you might want to wait around instead of working in your production app that is released that you want to basically utilize, um, share with people, and use for yourself. Like create a separate app in a different environment that's safe that you can then go ahead and test. So just be careful. For me, like the reflection, I would say is I did lose some momentum because of that bug with 5.6. Like it slowed me down. I spent a lot of time like trying to figure out the bug, and then like I lost motivation to continue with the project. So I was like, I keep hitting this error, so that like just killed my motivation to want to move forward with the project. And then I had to switch over to Opus 5, and then then hesitantly tested out like, is it gonna work the same way that it did work with GPT 5.6? Like that was very, I was very hesitant in that, and finally I got a momentum back. Really dug into Opus 5, really pushed it to the limit, went to max, high max and some stuff, and just like great results. Gave me what I needed, gave me what I wanted. I actually built out the Green Foods Market site on Opus 5. Yeah, oh, I didn't show this. I showed the markup last time, but yeah, the site's all done. Built out some guides. Got the story. Still working on shop. The shop is not Squarespace, so we're gonna clean that up. But it's interesting. Like there is a slight benefit in working in an IDE or harness versus CLI. Even in my work, like I'll use a harness instead of the CLI. It's just it's a bit faster. I think, and I'm hypothesizing as I go here. I haven't like dug into it too much, but I think the harness can be built with specific things in mind. Like the harness I use for my work stuff is like automation built in, like and then just pinky trigger automation. It's built, it's like plugged into like some data sets already. It's already leveraging my authentication, like my work authentication, so that process is faster. So there are also things you kind of customize and tweak to make things faster and better when you have a harness. And when I say harness, it's like similar to ChatGPT like work, right? Like I could do the same thing that I do in ChatGPT work that I do in CLI, but the plugins are right here. It's just so much easier to navigate. But still choose my project. I go to like my project file. And this project file is actually one that's on the cloud, not on the local computer, but I can reference files on my local computer. And then this voice feature, right? I still need to I promise next week it's a bit of upgrade to Pro. Because I use ChatGPT so much. I really need to upgrade so I have real faster response times. But I do use this voice feature, and I have this whole thing. Yes, yep, I haven't been doing good on my scheduled tasks, but I'm doing this whole thing where I'm documenting and kind of note taking and doing voice notes every day. I missed like 6 days. I'm gonna get back on it. But I use voice, and like literally when you're using voice, it's like you're in a podcast and you're just talking back and forth. It's kind of crazy. And all this is being recorded, all being saved, so you can then reference it. And of course, with the work feature, very similar to GitHub Copilot, where I can leverage that data, great apps, um, great dashboards, just tons of stuff that's created both with that data set. So I've been doing a lot of that. Like even in the ChatGPT, there's no like anything for automation. So another idea is building a configuration and a quote a customer on the configuration, plus have a visual based on the picture that they take. So on the site. So they go in, they take a picture, fill out some information, and boom, they got a proposal just like that. So we call this is like a quote configurator from an industry standpoint. That's what it is. But it's more custom specific to an industry. So coming soon. So that's that project. Couple projects that are what is my I don't know, what's my next thing? It is let's update the website to include a partner program that Nathan is doing. So it's gonna get another link there. We're integrating it to one of his financial partners. So we'll update that. I think I showed you guys the guides that I have on layer agriculture. So on layer agriculture, this section up here called guides. And no, I did not show you. This the guide is based on the latest Tech Thursday that we had a couple weeks back. So in this guide, I'm just also going to talk about I spoke about the AI org chart. It breaks it down, like how to build it, what the thought process is, step by step, how you design, and how you think of these different agents, and then how you can build. So check it out, veryculture.io. Want to learn about building your AI org chart, definitely check out this guide. And then after check the guide out, check the video out. Because the guide was based off of the video. That's how cool the whole flow is. Like we build, we ideate, we create content based on that. Who knows what the next step is? But the collection's all there. Guides. We have guides on MCVs, what they are, how they work, the workflows, prompting, AI fluency. So we'll add more and more. What else? Who's on the chat? Talk to me, y'all. Where you guys from? What you been up to? What are you doing in AI? What are you working on? What have you been building? That's all I want to know. Where have you been building? Everybody building out there. Like, what are the new models coming out? I mean, I hate to harp on new model this, new model that. Man, it's just too much fun. This side at times. Does Gemini? I couldn't see Gemini Pro come out. That's what I want to know. When does Gemini Pro 3.5 come out? Wow. Potentially released this fall. Coming tomorrow. What's this? Gemini 3.5. It's coming tomorrow. It's already developed, already deployed, and ready for release. It will most likely be released probably tomorrow, with only a small chance of launching today. And that was a day ago. So that's today. It's not out yet. That's funny. It was revealed to me in a dream. Let's end the video. Yep, it's June, July, August, September. What's going on in Google? Oh, my boy Dan says coming on the 10th. Yes, trust him, bro. Enough to officially done with this sub. Source, do you trust me? And yeah, who knows when this thing's coming out? Who knows? For now, we got Opus 5. It's all good. Definitely could have been doing more, doing like a lot more outside in the yard, in the garden. Yes, don't like I'm very try to balance myself, not always doing tech stuff. So I have like a little homestead in my garden, like some chickens, bees, rabbits, also got tons of fruit trees, flowers, birds, wild birds, all that type of stuff's in the backyard. And I'm building out this new chicken coop. For the past week, I did build out a new rabbit shelter. With like two huge rabbits, beautiful the white rabbits, and built out a huge shelter for them. Staying there looks really nice. Has a whole like, nice roof. It looks so peaceful and like comfortable. That's you know giving me comfortable. Out there. I've been enjoying that a lot. And then now I'm building out a new chicken coop and chicken nuggets. So I've been like very not overly consumed by that from a time perspective, but I would say equally consumed by that from a time perspective. Between working with my AI projects. And honestly, most of my AI projects this week have been work related, like going through tons of data um, and creating a point of view based on the data. I don't want to say too much, but literally having like 3 hours a day just working through different sessions, building, collecting data, analyzing data. So that's really my focus. But ooh, I know what to mention. I do have coming up an AI workshop at the lab in Cocoa, Florida. So find it here. There goes the lab. And it's gonna be on August. There's August 21st. That's a Friday. Yeah, I think it's Friday. Yeah. There we go. It's open to small businesses, entrepreneurs, startups come through. We'll talk about basically level one. We'll talk about like how to use what what AI is. First of all, we'll start with the basics. Like what is AI? We'll get into how to use your ChatGPT versus your Claude. Like you know, when it comes to using Pixel, when it comes to using all these other apps that are layered on top of AI, and how to really not end up just wasting your resources, your time, and in these different I would call dappers. Basically, just they're using the AI model, they're wrapping the application on top of it. Use that. A lot of times people go straight to OpenAI, straight to Claude, straight to Gemini. Leverage that ecosystem. It's going to be far more beneficial than you trying to dabble in different ones. And then also set up your workflows. Like the cool thing is like how to schedule, like, if you want image generation, like OpenAI, ChatGPT, if you shoot, it's top notch. Different things like that. And they had an open house tonight, so I'll check in with them and see how the open house went tomorrow morning. But yes, we'll clean this up. We'll get some clear directions on the agenda. Just a 1 hour session, real quick. I'll probably put a video out as well. Let me check it out over there. We'll fix it up. Yeah, that's gonna be exciting. End of the month, AI business workshop with the lab, with Coco in person, not virtual. Actually, probably should set up like a virtual setup. Let me do that. I do have the lapel mics. So yeah, I'll do a full virtual setup. It's gonna be a fun time. But that's what I got, y'all. As always, it's been a Thursday. Get out there, y'all. Build, code, create, and most importantly, learn. All right, y'all. Happy Tech Thursday. Peace.